Hello there. Welcome back to We the Trippers. In this video we are presenting a complete guide to trekking the famous Annapurna Base Camp, especially if you're planning to do it as a group or with family and children. If you are planning to do a multi-day trek for the first time or are a beginner, then you should watch this video till the end. We will answer some questions like where is Annapurna Base Camp, the trek route, budget, preparations, what to carry, etc. Throughout the video, you'll find plenty of tips and suggestions, so watch till the end. Stay tuned. There's a lot coming up. The Annapurna mountain range, located in the Himalayas of Nepal, is home to Annapurna 1, the 10th highest peak in the world. Annapurna Base Camp is the point from which the mountaineers start their summit to Annapurna 1. The base camp is at the height of 4,130 meters, and the trek to this place is moderately difficult. It takes between 6 to 12 days to complete a trek to ABC depending on the route you choose. So how did we do this trek? Let's dive into the trek plan. To give you an idea, we were a family of 3, 2 adults and 1 child, aged 9 years. We are not experienced trekkers and had no multi-day hiking experience. So we decided to make this easier for us. This is what our itinerary looked like. On day 1, we went from Jinu to Chomrong. Day 2, we trekked from Chomrong to Bamboo. On day 3, we covered Bamboo to Himalaya. Day 4, we went from Himalaya to MBC. And on the last day of our trek we covered MBC to Annapurna Base Camp. On an average, our daily trek duration was between 4 to 8 hours. This was because we took it easy and walked at a slower pace. If you are faster, you can actually cover our itinerary in lesser days. In terms of returning back, we did not trek back to Jinu. And we actually took a helicopter from Annapurna Base Camp to Pokhara. The helicopter ride was definitely an amazing experience, and our son loved it too. Now let's talk a little about how much it cost to complete this trek. The trek cost was around $1,000, which included the guide and the porter fee, all the trek permits, 5-day accommodations during the trek. It also included breakfast, lunch and dinner. We paid around $1,850 for the helicopter ride from Annapurna Base Camp to Pokhara. So, the total cost of the trek was $2,850. You can roughly add $2,000 for flights and hotel in Kathmandu as well as shopping for warm clothes and trekking gear. We would like to mention that this was a private trek for the 3 of us. If you book a group trek, you can save some money for sure. And here comes the most important question. How did we prepare for the trek? This was our first multi-day trek, and we were not experienced trekkers. In order to prepare for this trek, we used to climb steps on daily basis around 8 floors in one go. On weekends, we used to go for long walks, covering around 7 to 8 kilometers. We also did a few single-day treks every alternate week. We stay in Bangalore, India, so we chose Nandi Hills to practice for the trek. All this preparation started 3 months before the trek, and with the itinerary we followed, the trek was not too difficult. Do note that the ABC trek has a lot of steps, so practice climbing steps as much as possible. Experts say that if you are able to run 5 kilometers in 30 minutes, you would enjoy this trek to the fullest. To be honest, we were not able to reach that level of fitness. But we still had a great time because we took it slow and packed light. What did we carry to the trek? We had down jackets, fleece sweater, fleece tracking pants, woolen socks, woolen cap and woolen gloves. Get a good pair of trekking shoes and get used to them beforehand. Wet wipes were very helpful. Chlorine tablets and water bottles are essential. You can fill water on the way and use tablets to purify it. Also carry power banks, basic medicines, first aid kit, and of course chocolate and trail mix. There were a few things that we carried but did not use. And one of them was bath towels. Trekking pole is optional too. You'll find a lot of friendly dogs and pups, but they don't really like dog treats. Do get sleeping bags. You can also rent it from Pokhara. They are a must-have on higher altitudes where the temperature drops low. Based on the dates of your trek, find out the day and night temperature of the locations in the route and choose to pack clothing accordingly. Now let's talk about our day-wise trekking experience to the Annapurna Base Camp. We began our journey from Pokhara, and a jeep ride took us from Pokhara to Jinu, a 2.5-hour journey that commenced at 8 a.m. However, we recommend an early start at 6 a.m. to fully enjoy the scenic route. The landscapes on the way to Jinu are a breathtaking spectacle, with valleys and picturesque views. Arriving in Jinu around 11:30 a.m., we set off on our trek. A tip for future trekkers: start your trek by 9:30 a.m. to reach the first point early and make the most of the surroundings. Jinu at 1760 meters offers a comfortable climate, but check the weather for your travel month. The trek from Jinu begins with a beautiful hanging bridge, a highlight for both adults and kids. Do stop here for some time to click some good pictures and admire the lovely surroundings of the hills. After about 2.5 hours of trekking, we stopped for lunch at a tea house, indulging in the refreshing and energizing dal bhat meal. Throughout the trek, dal bhat remained a staple, freshly prepared and delightful. Highly recommended for a satisfying meal and is perfect for the trek. The tea houses, as they are typically referred to in Nepal, offer food, beverages, and stay for the trekkers. Continuing our journey after lunch, we encountered small village houses, numerous steps, and traversed the scenic valley. Practicing to climb a lot of steps is really important in this trek, so start preparing early on. By 5 p.m., we reached Chomro, where a welcoming tea house offered hot lemon tea, a perfect refreshment. The night was pleasant, not too cold, not too hot, and the sky was simply amazing with a brilliant view of the stars. Tired after the day's trek, we slept like a baby. The trek gets more exciting from day 2, so keep watching. And do not forget to subscribe to us. Day 2 unfolded as we left Chomro, situated at an altitude of 2,170 meters, with bamboo as our destination. A quick breakfast, featuring the ever-popular lemon tea, set the tone for the day. A piece of advice from our experience: when choosing rooms in tea houses, opt for those closer to toilets, especially when traveling with children, as they are shared. Also, be prepared for squat toilets, as Western toilets are not prevalent in this region. We commenced our trek at around 8 a.m., heading towards Bamboo. Along the way, we encountered fellow trekkers, emphasizing the importance of an early start, especially when traveling with children. Expert hikers can cover this distance in 4 to 5 hours, but for families, it might be a longer day. The journey involved numerous steps, at least until reaching the forest area teeming with bamboo trees. En route, we stumbled upon a small, serene Buddhist temple, offering majestic views of the mountains. Mules, vital for transporting supplies to tea houses, shared the path. Caution is advised, giving them space when encountered. The view of the valleys along the way is indescribable, and a tip here is to familiarize yourself with your trekking shoes before the trip. Avoid buying new shoes just days before, ensuring comfort during the trek. We halted at Sinuwa for lunch around 12:30 p.m., with the goal of a quick break and onward movement. However, a mistake in managing our time led to delays in our schedule. The stretch from Sinuwa to Bamboo, though not abundant in steps, is a forested area with bamboo trees and an unpaved path. This section should be traversed during daylight, as there are no villages in between, and it becomes pitch dark in the forest. The terrain might pose challenges during the rainy season, making October the recommended time for the Annapurna Base Camp trek due to drier conditions. It's crucial to reach Bamboo before nightfall since there are no street lights and the forest cover obstructs sunlight. Unfortunately, we arrived late due to our prolonged lunch stop, navigating the forested trail in darkness, an experience best avoided. Exhausted, we had a quick dinner and retired for the night. The last night was quite challenging as we arrived in Bamboo after dark, rendering visibility almost non-existent. Our priority was reaching Bamboo, and exhaustion took over, leaving us little energy to explore or document the surroundings. The next morning brought a refreshing start. Bamboo, situated at an altitude of 2,310 meters, greeted us with a pleasant ambience. Our trek commenced around 8:30 a.m., and this time, our goal was to avoid reaching our destination too late. From Bamboo, the prominent Pokhara mountain stood tall, a striking sight along the forest trail. The lush forest unfolded, featuring numerous streams and makeshift bridges. The trek was a visual delight, especially in the month of October, with vibrant greenery everywhere. The enchanting streams and waterfalls, along with the mesmerizing views of clouds veiling the mountains, kept fatigue at bay. As we journeyed on, we encountered a hydroelectric power generation system in Dowan, situated at an altitude of 2,600 meters. Here, we noticed things got more expensive, exemplified by the 250 rupee charge for a hot shower. Since we had a heavy breakfast in Bamboo, we decided to forego lunch in Dowan. We indulged in snacks and moved forward, aiming to reach Himalaya. Just before Himalaya, we marveled at majestic waterfalls, capturing photographs and relishing the scenery. The village was a mere 10 minutes away, and we spent a significant amount of time admiring the beauty of the waterfalls. Upon reaching Himalaya, our stop for the day, we were ahead of schedule, arriving around 3:30 p.m. We had trekked at a leisurely pace, and the day was bright and sunny. Our first order of business was to enjoy tea and some pizza and ramen, compensating for the skipped lunch. The rest of the day unfolded with relaxation and contemplation, surrounded by the lively atmosphere of the tea house. Tea houses, bustling with activity, sometimes offer board games for entertainment. Wi-Fi is available but gets expensive as you move up. By evening the temperature had dropped and it was already -2 degrees. We tried some local rice wine and slept off with the calming sounds of waterfalls at night. The following morning marked the continuation of our trek from Himalaya to Annapurna Base Camp, also known as MBC. While the trail isn't overly challenging, altitude sickness can set in, making it crucial to maintain a slower pace. Listen to your body and stay hydrated. Take your time to appreciate the stunning landscape, characterized by rocky terrain, absence of paved paths or jungles, and numerous streams, some requiring foot crossings without bridges. Reaching Durrani around 11:45 am, we opted for a light lunch, emphasizing the importance of not overeating and staying hydrated. The lemon tea served as a refreshing companion, and we filled a bottle to sip on the way to MBC. Altitude gain in this region is substantial, demanding a slow and mindful pace. The mountain ranges, particularly the snow-capped Annapurna, gradually unfold in full view, even in October. The trail can be tricky, so caution is advised. Walk carefully, keeping meals light and ensuring hydration to combat the fatigue induced by the high altitude. Before embarking on this trek, especially if you have respiratory issues, consult with your physician. Keep in mind that medical support is limited in this area, so a cautious approach is essential. We arrived at MBC around 5:30 p.m., thoroughly exhausted. Despite our weariness, we managed a quick dinner before retiring for the night. It's not uncommon to experience difficulty falling asleep at MBC, but staying hydrated and attuned to your body's signals is key. The morning view of the Annapurna mountain region and Annapurna was absolutely stunning. Despite a somewhat sleepless night, which is quite normal at higher altitudes, we woke up early and commenced our trek after breakfast at around 8 am. The typical duration from Annapurna Base Camp, MBC, to Annapurna Base Camp, ABC, is about 2 to 2.5 hours. However, opting for a more leisurely pace, we aim to cover the distance in around 4 to 4.5 hours. It's crucial to be cautious about altitude sickness, so taking it slow, staying hydrated, and paying attention to your body's reactions are key. The path from MBC to ABC, while not overly difficult, becomes challenging due to the thinner air, making you feel more tired due to lower oxygen levels. Along the way, we came across a frozen lake, where fellow trekkers were enjoying breaking the ice, a delightful moment, especially for the children. As we continued, the weather remained pleasant. The distant hum of helicopters heightened our excitement, signaling the approaching end of our trek. By around 12:05 p.m., we reached Annapurna Base Camp, and it was an exhilarating moment. Clipping ourselves near the Annapurna Base Camp board, we then relaxed in the tea house, interacting with fellow trekkers and soaking in the awe-inspiring beauty of Machapuchare and the Annapurna mountain region. The weather at Annapurna Base Camp was cloudy, contributing to a dip in temperature. With limited electricity only for essential lighting and no functioning Wi-Fi, we spent the rest of the day simply enjoying the surroundings. We began preparing for our helicopter ride back to Pokhara the next morning, reflecting on the incredible journey to the heart of the Annapurna region. We woke up very early in the morning, greeted by the sun's rays casting a golden hue on the Annapurna mountain ranges, creating a mesmerizing view. Many fellow trekkers had already ventured to nearby points for photo moments. After a quick breakfast, we packed our bags, preparing for our ride back to Pokhara. The helicopters arrived as the weather remained clear, a crucial factor as they only operate in good weather conditions, ceasing operations in cloudy, snowy, or rainy situations. We descended to the makeshift helipad, capturing moments as helicopters circled Annapurna Base Camp. After a brief wait, our helicopter arrived, and our guide signaled us to board. We stowed our bags and settled in. The pilot coordinated with air traffic control, securing clearance to take off, marking the beginning of our journey back to Pokhara at 8:30 a.m. Soaring over the valley, retracing the path we had trekked on foot, invoked both excitement and emotion. Peering down, we tried to identify the villages and tea houses where we had stayed. Looking back at the path that we covered by foot across the last 5 days, we felt very happy on our achievement. As a precaution, we had carried Dimox and a few other medicines for altitude sickness. But thankfully, we did not need any of them. The main reason we trekked at a slow pace and got adjusted to the altitude across the 5 days. The panoramic view of snow-capped mountains was breathtaking, especially as we descended into the valley. A helicopter trip in Nepal offers unparalleled views, and we highly recommend it. The ride, lasting 15 to 20 minutes, depending on landing clearances, provided a transition from snow-capped peaks to hills adorned with greenery.
I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.
Witnessing Pokhara city beneath us was a unique experience after days away from urban life. As we circled into Pokhara, the pilot coordinated with air traffic control before safely landing around 8:46 am. Reflecting on the journey, it was truly extraordinary. As a family, covering such a difficult trek at higher altitudes was beyond our expectations. This trek gave us a perspective that there is no limit to doing wonderful things in life, you just need to take a plunge and prepare for it. A special mention goes to the people in the mountains, known for their humility and politeness. Their warmth and hospitality added an extra layer of richness to our trekking experience. Our guide, Santosh, and our porter Maila uncle contributed significantly to our trek's success. Without their support, completing this trek wouldn't have been possible. So what are you waiting for? Plan a trip to Annapurna Base Camp and start preparing now. It's a life-changing experience. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like, share, or subscribe.